Hello and welcome to another episode of GCTV. My name's Graham Reid, Head of Products and host of GCTV. Today we are taking a look at permissions in Emerge Desktop. I've been asked to record this video by a number of colleagues at Group Call just to help out with the rollout of Emerge Desktop, which is going into an ever-increasing number of customers and schools, and in particular for some of our larger multi-academy trust partners who are using it as well. It's a way to streamline the whole onboarding process, and this hopefully as a customer should be very useful to you. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is how we manage these permissions within our managed platform. So there's two things that we can do here. We can manage the individual permissions of an individual user. What we can also do is we can set up defaults for all of our users. When information comes out of your school MIS, each member of staff, is either a teacher or a non-teacher in terms of the data. And what we can do with that is we can, based on whether they are a teacher or a non-teacher, we can assign them a particular role within Emerge Desktop. So that's the first one we're going to look at doing, because that will streamline that process to a great extent for you. So the first thing we do is we log into the managed platform, which as Emerge Desktop user you'll have access to and you'll have a login to. So the first thing that we do is we go into settings and then into permissions and licensing and then into default application roles. We choose Emerge, it's the only one in the particular list at the moment. There may be other platforms coming online soon that we can manage with this. And then we see a list of the different types of person that comes out of your MIS. So that's a teacher, a non-teacher, a parent, and a learner. Parent and learner we're not going to play about with today. So teaching staff and non-teaching staff, and we can set them a default role so that when they're imported into Emerge Desktop, they will be given that particular Emerge Desktop role. And we can see what we select is from one of the default Emerge Desktop roles for each of teaching and non-teaching, and then we hit submit. And that will set all of the roles and permissions within Emerge Desktop for that user based on that master role. We can always go and edit those individual roles later, which is the piece we're going to go and do next. And so now we are in Emerge Desktop and we are going to go to the Manage Users option. Now you'll only have this option if you are what's called a stab admin within Emerge Desktop. And if you need some help doing that, contact Group Call Support, we can help you out with that. And what we do with this is we first find their user, so we can either enter their username or their email address as Emerge Desktop knows it. And then we are going to see all of the different roles and permissions that are available within Emerge Desktop that we can assign to this particular user. And we can choose the best one for them. So are they an office member of staff? Are they a member of the senior leadership team? Whatever they need to do. Each one of those roles will have a preset number of permissions. And those permissions are the things that allow you to, or that user to do different things within Emerge Desktop. Now the permissions are loosely based on different areas and different sections within Emerge Desktop, either different tabs within the student details pop-up, or different functional areas like taking behaviours, achievements, detentions, etc., etc. And if we want to edit those particular ones, then we go into the advanced permissions, or we tick advanced permissions and go to the next step. And this is where we can then go and edit those individual permissions, what they can and can't see and do within the platform. And once everything is set within there, we click submit and away we go. Now the one important thing to remember about this is whatever permissions that you set as part of this, everything that you set or unset, or by the time you hit submit is either ticked as yes or no, then those are the things that will overwrite every single permission. So every time you save this, every single permission will be overwritten with either a yes or a no based on what you select here. If you're just going in and editing a particular user, perfectly fine, but it's important just to make sure that the things that are on and off are the things that are supposed to be on and off, because once you hit submit, that's it, all of those settings done. It won't just update the settings that you have changed, for example. And that's it. I hope that was useful for you. I hope this helps you with your rollout of Emerge Desktop. Very short episode today just to clear off this particular piece. I hope it was useful, and I'll see you again on the next episode. Thank you. Ba, 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 ba.
Bye bye.